Welcome to NALUL, a weekly NALCS recap show that focuses on quick and sometimes humorous recaps of this week's League of Legends matches. This is the final game in the match between Dignitas and CLG, so let's hop right in and pick and ban. Dignitas select Kalista, J4, Syndra, Taric, and Renekton. CLG select Taliyah, Gragas, Tristana, Alistar, and Gnar. It's strange to see Maokai and Thresh fall away through the draft after being such hotly contested picks in the NALCS for so long. That being said, we end up with some pretty standard team comps on both sides here. It'll be interesting to see if Keen can provide the amount of pressure mid lane that Syndra needs to in order to be successful. His Taliyah and Orianna earlier hadn't been so hot, so I wonder if making the switch to the Syndra will help him out. In addition, it's always kind of a treat to see Gnar for me personally. He's one of my favorite champions in League of Legends. The amount of playmaking available to him, if you use him correctly, is crazy. And he's also very good in lane and offers a lot of lane priority and gank assistance. Both teams have strong team fighting comps, and realistically this all comes down to who can execute their comp better. Just going off recent history, I trust CLG to do that more than I do Dig, who haven't looked great outside of the Altec solo carry last game. Jumping into the game, it starts out pretty slow. We get a couple of early ganks that blow some summoners but don't result into kills until 7:45 when a repeat gank mid lane pays off for CLG, who pick up a kill on the Keen. Dig seemed to have some problems communicating and tracking players in the early to mid game, and it strikes them again here. We saw it earlier in game 1, specifically I had pointed it out, and this time with Aphromoo roaming up and Keen seemingly unaware that he had even left lane. This will be something they can address, and this is a fixable issue. They just need to work on their communication in the early to mid. Flash forward to 12 minutes and we get a gank top lane. CLG are rotating their bot lane to the top side to try and start a turret push, and Darshan manages to land a pretty good Gnar ult to pull Someday back far enough for CLG to clean up the kill. The turret training ends up being a bit extended as both teams picks up 2 turrets, but CLG overstay a bit and then Dig pick up a return kill on the Omar God. Jump forward a couple more minutes and we have Dig now with a 4-man unit trying to take down the top tier 1. CLG respond by rotating all 5 up with the Gnar TP and the Taliyah wall to try and force a favorable fight. However, CLG seems to enter the fight rather separated, with Omar lagging behind coming through the lane, and Darshan hops the wall and takes a weird path through the jungle for the flank. So this ends up with the fight being a 3v4 for a moment instead of the 4v5 they were trying to set up. This allows the fight initially to go favorably for Dignitas. After the initial fight is over, CLG's 2 remaining members try and disengage, and Keen and Someday overchase to try and get the kills, and Taliyah answers back with another double kill. With all that said and done, it's a 3-for-3 even trade for both teams, with both teams kind of making some errors in execution here. Things slow down a bit with CLG making some favorable rotational play, allowing them to gain a bit of a gold lead for themselves, which they put to use at 24 minutes. Adrian uses Taric ult much too early, and as soon as it ends, CLG look to engage. A great flash Gnar by Darshan stuns 2, and Altec dies as well. CLG then clean up the inhib turret and inhib and walk back to the Fog of War. Someday tries to push out mid and gets picked as well and goes down. Rinse repeat, CLG back into the Fog of War, wait a moment, then pick up Adrian and Altec in addition, thanks to a heady play from Aphromoo, who waited for Altec to use the Fate's Call and then knocks up Altec instead of trying to go on to Adrian. This long sequence essentially seals the game for CLG. They snag the free Baron after the 3 picks and use it to push down objectives with some rotational play. And eventually Dig is forced to try and make a last stand, and fails with the series ending 2-1 in favor of CLG. Hui sort of played out of his mind this entire series, Game 1 and Game 3 specifically. His shockwaves in Game 1 were great, and his Taliyah in this game was outstanding. His Taliyah walls were great, especially that last one that forced Dig to fight them. They cut him off from being able to hide under their own turret, so they had to fight in even ground, which really favored the gold lead for CLG. Though it's hard to try and fit Hui on the same level as Bjerg and Jensen, he's playing well enough that if CLG can remain in this form, and Omar can step up his play a bit and become much more consistent, they have a very, very real shot at winning the split. I'm very interested to see their match versus TSM later this weekend. Dig have sort of had the same slight coordination and early game tracking issues for most of the split. They have a lot of mixed calls in their team fight, and it's hard for me to imagine they'll fix them in time to push for the finals. A lot of things would have to fall into place for them to push for it. They're not a bad team by any means, but they're pretty far behind in team cohesion and shot calling when compared to the top of the table. Anyway, thanks for watching today's NALUL recap. Come back tomorrow morning for the recap of Cloud9 versus Envy. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, comment if you have opinions or feedback you'd like me to see, and subscribe if you want more content like this. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you all in the morning.